And all of a sudden, kind of out of nowhere, Tank Davis takes a knee. Now,
Should have been a knockdown, right?
which should have been a knockdown because, in the rule book, it states that anything other than the soles of your feet that touch the ground is deemed a knockdown. And the referee, Steve Willis, I believe his initial intent was to call it a knockdown because when you look at the videotape, you could see him start to count. But the one thing that I think may have threw Steve off was Tank goes to a knee, and then he gets up and he walks to his corner. Now I've had that happen to me before, fighter taking a knee, but he stays down and takes the full mandatory 8 count so that he can get his head right, even if he was fatiguing a little bit and wanted to get a little rest. But in this sense, Tank gets up, goes to his corner. He goes to one side of the pole on his corner, and then he goes to the other side, and his corner man reaches up and kind of pats his face as if something was, in his eye, which he claims that's what it was.
Now, I saw a clip of that fight, and I saw exactly the same thing you saw. And I'm saying to myself, because I would never be critical of another referee, but what I'm thinking is that there is no timeout in the game of boxing unless the referee or the commission calls it. And so essentially that's what that boiled down to.
Yeah.
And but there's a precedent.
Yeah.
There was a precedent for what occurred because what I understood from that fight was that Tank was saying there was something in his eye. He got something in his eye.
Right.
And that's the reason why he went over.
Right.
And the corner came up to wipe something out of his eye, which, between you and I, that should never have happened either.
Right.
But there was a precedent for that.
Yes.
Because if you go back all the way back to Cassius Clay versus Sonny Liston 1,
yes,
when there was some kind of substance on Liston's gloves that got in Ali's eyes,
yes,
and he wanted them to stop the fight and quit and everything, and Angelo Dundee told him go back out there and keep on sticking and move around.
Yes.
And we'll wash your eyes out when you come to the edge. So
yes,
and there's the precedent.